Hello, happy Saturday. Well, good evening. Today has been a really, really, really long day, but really exciting day for me. I woke up about 5 a.m. Because we needed to drive down to London. There was an event there, and at the event, I kind of like met so many nice people. I met so many friends and I chatted random things with so many different people. And to tell you the truth, it was the most exciting. Every time I go somewhere, every time I go to an event, I end up just making friends, not just making friends, but finding common ground just to chat with someone and have a long conversation. I Most times I've made a lot of my friends or a lot of people that I talk to are probably people who obviously were strangers at some point. We met somewhere, we had a conversation, and our views, our values, or something align, and something clicks, and we just become lifelong friends. And even if we talk maybe on the phone, on social media, when we don't live near each other, or we just kind of like see each other at once every 2 years or but we know that the other person's there, and we always know they're the first person who likes your post when you post it, things like that. But I love making friends when I'm like on the train or on the bus or walking in the park or walking, just doing something, any activity, and I meet somebody who is willing to talk. I'm like, I'm just talking. I'm one of those people. I talk, I find common ground, and I laugh, and then we move on. It's just about brightening somebody's day. So today, after the event, it was time to kind of like come back home. We were just sitting in the car. It was kind of like a long day, a long event, and the drive is maybe 2.5, 3 hours, depending on whether you stop or we don't stop on the way from London back home. So you're like thinking, we get back in the car and we're just sitting there, either on social. I was probably just responding to my WhatsApp messages or whatever, looking on social media, and a kid, just minding our business, not even doing anything. The car wasn't even switched on or anything, just sitting in the car. And a kid just got about 8 years old, got in the car at the back, started to put his seatbelt on. Well, the seatbelt on at the back. And we're like, okay, who are you? So this kid was like, so I'm looking at this kid and I'm thinking, is he going to get out? Is he having a joke or is he playing? No, he was literally sitting there saying, come on, start driving. Go on, we need to go. And I get out of the car, and I opened like the door where you were sitting, because at this point I'm like really confused. What is going on? And because he was a young, about, yeah, like 8, maybe 7, I don't know, I'm not sure about ages of young people these days. He could have been a bit bigger. He might not have been a bit, but maybe between 7 and 8, I would say. Yeah, and trying to say to him, you can't sit in the car with strangers. So my first thought was he on his own? Was he, what's going on? So I'm like going to the side, and then as soon as I got to open the door, a man just like randomly appeared. This man randomly appeared, and he starts saying, you can't do that, you can't do that, to the kid. And I'm like, oh no, he's fine, he's fine. Because he's starting to shout at this kid, and the kid was obviously very upset about it. He wasn't crying, which was very strange, because and he didn't say anything, and I just thought, oh my God. So I'm trying to get like him to not to stop shouting at the boy, but for the boy to feel better, because I could, this man's like basically shouting at this boy, which obviously he's got a right to, because this kid basically just went and got in a car, starts, he doesn't know who the car belonged to, puts his seatbelt on and just sat back. And you're like thinking, okay. So anyway, because we had like I fruit and crisps and drink, I think, or something like that. I still had some, so I opened the boot and I started giving him some. So the people I was with, oh my God, please don't kill me, started saying, oh, don't reinforce bad behavior, because you're giving him those things, because he's gonna think every time he gets into a stranger's car, you get some snacks or you get something. So I'm like, no, because he seemed upset. You know, when you're a mother, right? I don't know how everybody else reacts to this. When you're a mother, because I'm not saying, I was not going to harm this boy. So I'm not, I know he shouldn't do what he did, but I personally know I wasn't going to harm this boy, right? And I was more trying to make him feel better, to whatever made him want to get into a stranger's car and try and ask them to drive away with him, made me feel very uncomfortable. So I'm trying like to say, would you like this? Would you? And I wanted to have a conversation with this boy, but because the man was there and he just kept saying, oh, okay, you take it. Okay, you take it. So the boy couldn't answer back for himself. And then eventually the boy then said, oh, I just wanted to say hello, right, to us when he walked into the car. So that, because at this point he was like still very like shocked. I don't know whether it was a shock or whatever. So eventually the boy just said, I just wanted, so I'm like, of course you wanted to say hello, that's not a problem, give me a hug. So I get a hug from this boy, and then I asked him what his name was. I can't remember I think he said his name was Nathan, but obviously, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe, did the man kidnap this little boy? Was he running away from this man, but he got scared once the man came to the car? It was, it's only later on that I thought, we just let the boy go with this man without asking any questions, and without even trying to confirm whether it was his child or not his child. But obviously, it's not my place to ask a grown up to say, oh, why are you walking with that boy? Or why do you want to... They were together, and I know that they were together because they had two scooters, and the man was carrying... What actually happened was the boy had his own scooter. He left his scooter, let's say... I'm saying 5 yards. I don't know what 5 yards is, but a little bit of a distance, maybe about 4 meters away from our car on the side to come. He didn't pass our car. He came to our car. They were not even coming that way. He literally came to our car and opened the door. It wasn't even like a person was trying to open. The way he got into the car was the fastest I've ever seen anybody get into a car. So it's only then after that's when I thought maybe, but at this point, they've already gone. I've given them the crisps, the fruits, the drink, whatever. They've crossed the road and they're gone. And I was thinking, if they were going to the park and the park is back that way, why did the boy run this way? So the park is behind us. Why was the boy running this way to get to us, to get into our car? It was a little bit strange, but hey, Anyway, the rest of the day was amazing, and that was the end of a really good day. Yeah, now I'm just waiting to watch the women's tennis final. So happy Saturday! Bye.